Hey there, Sparkle Seekers. It's Suzanne here. It's Training Tuesday. Today, we're talking about something that holds so many entrepreneurs back, and that's staying consistent. Give me a little love in the chat if that's you. Give me a wave. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Let's be real. We all start off motivated, but when life gets busy or overwhelm creeps in, consistency, it just feels impossible. But here's the truth. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to stay intentional. There's big meaning in those words. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to stay intentional. So today I'm going to share 3 simple and sustainable ways to stay consistent even when everything feels like too much. So if you're ready to make the rest of this year yours, if you're ready to stay on track, if you actually are ready to follow through, go ahead and drop me some confetti or stars in the comments and let's dive in. Tip number 1, micro moves. You've heard me talk about this lately in Training Tuesdays, but it keeps coming up with my clients. What does this mean? It means shrink the task. We tend to think success comes from making big, massive changes overnight, but honestly, no. Small, consistent, repeatable, sustainable actions are what creates momentum. So here's how you apply that in real life. You take an overwhelming project, let's say, maybe it's decluttering your closet. Maybe it's building an email list, and you break it down until it feels almost too easy. So if you need to write a blog, you start by just brainstorming 5 title ideas. If you are launching a new offer, you jot down 3 quick ways you could talk about it this week. You see, it works because your brain sees it as manageable. All of these things are manageable. They're doable in the day. They're not scary. You don't need a lot of supplies. You don't need to have everything all figured out. It's just, oh, this one thing. So you see, progress isn't about perfection. It's about movement. So micro moves, let's shrink the task. One small step every day beats a big stressful leap that you never take. Tip number 2, you want to tie it to something that you already do. This is called anchor habits. It's a game changer for a lot of people that are overwhelmed because it removes decision fatigue. And I'm going to be doing a lot of training on decision fatigue coming up in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. What it means is instead of saying, I have to find the time, I don't know how I'm going to get the time, where can I cram this in? You link the thing you're trying to do to a new habit that you've already formed, that you're already doing. So here's maybe some ways to apply that. Your morning routine, let's say. So your first cup of coffee, and you spend 5 minutes reviewing your top 3 priorities. Boom, right? Maybe for social media, every time you open Instagram, you engage with 3 ideal clients before you scroll. Maybe you want to start journaling personally. So maybe it's I add 1 sentence to my journaling. I'm already doing that, reflecting on how my day aligned with my goals yesterday. So if you have a morning journaling routine and you're like, I don't have time to review my day, well, then you just make it part of your morning journaling. When you anchor habits, it makes consistency automatic because you're already building on an existing routine, and in your brain, it's already created that pathway that says, this is the thing that we do and when we do it. So now you're just like, and I'm going to add this one little thing on. So you see, it's not about doing more. It's about weaving into what you already do. Last tip for today, accountability spark, which means you've got to make things fun. Accountability doesn't have to feel heavy and rigid. And I'm really tired of coaches and speakers and leadership training talking about, the rigidity of it all and making accountability feel so heavy. That word to me even feels heavy. In fact, I think accountability and fun should be going together because it makes a difference between sticking with something or giving it up. So here's how I personally apply it. I might share a weekly goal in a group with my coach. Or maybe I've got a biz accountability bestie, and together we grab even a virtual happy hour, and we're kind of talking about that together. I love sending out friendly competitions. So I do this in my own mastermind group and where we do a challenge every month or so. And sometimes there's things like Amazon gift cards. Sometimes it's just the rights to say you won, right? So it could be something like who can check off their top 3 priorities by Friday, let's say. And I'm big on rewarding myself. So if I finish something that I said I was going to do at the beginning of the week and I do that, I already have planned and ready to go a celebration tactic. So I treat myself to something. So it for me, it's usually a dance break, but it might be something else like I'm going to go watch The Last Kingdom for 50 minutes and not do anything else but that. So it's a really big way and a game changer to kind of tell your brain what's happening. And I don't want you to forget the power of public accountability. So challenge yourself. I want you to comment sparkle. Let's do some of that public accountability. Say sparkle below in the chat with one thing, say sparkle and your thing that you're going to stay consistent with this week. All right. So it's only Tuesday. You can do this. And I'm going to be here to cheer you on. In fact, I'll probably check in on you. So be sure that you comment and let's see if I actually follow through on that. See what I did there with public accountability? So real quick, let me recap. You're going to do some micro moves. You're going to break it down into tiny steps. You're going to do anchor habits, link new actions to routines you already have. You're going to have an accountability spark. Make staying consistent fun and supported. Consistency isn't about doing more. It's about showing up for yourself in a way that feels doable and aligned. Which one are you willing to start this week? Let me know in the chat. You've got this. I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. Until next time, I invite you to stay shining. It's your Training Tuesday.